Now, in a change to the advertised programme, we join Julie Etchingham for the Manchester Attack, a Tonight special, which contains descriptions some viewers may find upsetting.
Good evening and welcome to a special Tonight programme from Manchester. Just 3 nights ago, families from across the UK and beyond were gathering at the city's world-famous arena for a big night out. It was packed to the rafters, children and teenagers singing and dancing, having the time of their lives. What happened at the end of that evening has left a city and a country in grief and in shock. Now, with the army deployed in the wake of that attack, it has also left many asking how this senseless atrocity may affect all of our everyday lives.
There is a calm across this city. People catch buses and trains, they go to work, they shop, children go to school. There's a sense of normality, but it's been punctuated by police raids, by arrests, and by rumours. This is what life is like in the aftermath of an atrocity which claimed 22 lives. But while there have been moments of fear, Manchester is also defiant.
There's hard times again in these streets of our city, but we won't take defeat, and we don't want your pity.
And this determination to face down terror has been all the more remarkable because of what preceded it just hours earlier. Ariana Grande, an American child star who became a pop princess loved by young people with children at the heart of her fan base. So many excited to be seeing their hero with tickets that were birthday gifts or Christmas presents. For some, it was their first ever concert. Nearly 22,000 people were in the Manchester Arena on Monday night. But at the end of her last song, as Ariana Grande left the stage, the unthinkable happened.
Oh my God. What's going on? What just happened? Oh my God!
In the foyer area where many parents were waiting to pick up their children, a suicide bomber set off his device. Packed with metal pieces, it was designed to cause death and maximum carnage. Some simply ran for their lives.
Quick, Corey! Which way? Come on!
Just saw everyone screaming and running, and
we just heard the bang, but then everybody was crying,
we didn't know where to run. It was just panic.
Everyone was trying to get out at once, and then people were saying that there was blood on the floor, and we live in Blackpool, so we don't know how we're going to get back yet.
Kids, little girls.
The emergency services arrived en masse. 60 ambulances and 400 police officers, many heavily armed, descended on the arena. One couple waiting to collect their youngest daughter and granddaughter found themselves in the heart of this horror.
All of a sudden,
there was a flash and the loudest bang I've ever heard in my life. Our ears, we got thrown in the air on the floor, and then there was just the silence, wasn't there? And there's rubble and dust.
We picked ourselves up, and there's
got straight up, didn't we?
Thick, acrid smoke, the smell of burning plastic, burning hair, burning clothes, and the sight of bodies, the injured people and blood, and
then through this
awful
smoke, this young girl's staggering towards me, staggering out. She didn't know what she didn't know what she was doing. Her hair was all burnt. The plastic merchandise bag was burnt on her hair. Her face was covered in blood, and she was just wobbling. And I just went forward and I said, I need to get her, Phil. And I said, who's coming to get you? And she said, my dad. I said, don't worry, we'll find him. I'm going to stay with you until we get him. Don't worry.
As Kim cradled the 14-year-old in her arms, Phil began a desperate search for his own girls.
I said, look, you look after this girl, I'll go find them, I'll find them. So I went back into the foyer and I methodically checked every single person in there to make sure it wasn't my daughter and my granddaughter.
It must have been horrendous.
It was awful. Injured, dying and dead. Was the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. It really was.
And it was perfectly obvious the nature of the bomb, even by this stage.
Absolutely,
because of the injuries that you were witnessing.
With the injuries we saw, there were burn injuries, but the thing that did the most damage was the shrapnel. There were bolts, nuts, screws, bits of metal everywhere, and that's what caused the vast majority of the injuries. So I went through the security doors into the corridor of the arena proper, and the only thing I saw was the remains of the bomber.
And you saw that?
Yes.
While Phil was coming face to face with those terrible scenes, his 17-year-old daughter Tamla and granddaughter Sasha, who's 15, had managed to escape.
We were grabbing all our stuff really quickly, just to quickly get out, because I knew that my mum told us to get out early, but then the